With us now, CNN political commentator S.E. Cupp and Democratic strategist and consultant Simon Rosenberg. Friends, we just saw Donald Trump leave Trump Tower for the Manhattan courthouse for opening statements in his criminal trial. I mean, this is an historic moment. But from a political perspective, S.E., what role do you, or fairly, do you not, think this is playing in the election right now?
Yeah, and that's an excellent way to put it, because what I don't think this is doing is capturing the attention of most voters. We're following this because it's important. This is a guy running for president who's about to go on trial. It's important, but I don't think most voters are following the tick-tock of these cases that closely. On the other side, I think this is incredibly important for his election and his base. They want to see this. He doesn't want to be out talking about policy. He wants to be at these courthouses, making these speeches afterward, playing the victim, and telling his voters, look, they're after me, just like I told you.
So, Simon, to that point, the conventional wisdom in the primaries was that these cases helped Donald Trump. Once he was prosecuted or the charges were filed here in Manhattan, his poll numbers actually started going up. But is that still the case at this point? I mean, does it still help him to be in a courtroom facing this charge today?
No. I don't think that he can make the case, or I don't think it's going to be true that months and months and months of his criminality, his misdeeds being thrown in front of the American people day after day after day, that there's any universe where that's going to be helpful to him, in my view. And I think you're seeing that Donald Trump is having a really, truly terrible month right now. I mean, not only, as you mentioned, that new Marist poll is the best Biden poll that he's had this year, but the abortion extremism of the Republican Party was exposed. They're struggling to raise money, right? You have the court cases now. You had Trump getting rebuked by his own party over the weekend on Russia and Ukraine. I mean, this has been a really bad month for Donald Trump. And I don't think another week, particularly, I think today is going to be a big day. These opening statements are going to lay out the case that the prosecutors have against him. And I think this is going to be a really tough week for him.
Simon, you quoted the Marist poll. I know from reading interviews with you, including on April 3rd, 2024 in the New York Times, that you don't, take polling that seriously. I think that centering your understanding of this election around Biden's approval rating around public polling is risky business. Is that no longer operative here?
No, it's risky. It's just one bit of, John, it's one bit of data that we have. But the truth is, what we know now from dozens of polls, right? What they're telling us is the election is getting much bluer and better for the Democrats. And we have to acknowledge trends when they happen. I mean, if a team scores a lot of baskets, scores a lot of points, that matters in the game. We're scoring a lot of points right now, and I feel good about where we are.
Because you put it in sports terms, now I understand it. S.E., if you buy Simon's argument that Trump has had a bad month and Biden has had a good month, why?
Yeah, I think it's because of the abortion issue. That's been really in the news and crystallizing the argument that the Republicans want these regressive anti-woman, anti-abortion bills that are not even popular among a majority of Republicans. And so I think you have people really seeing in evidence, not just the threat that Republicans will push this to extreme, but in actuality that they are and want to continue to. And they're not seeing a lot of hope coming up. They're just seeing more doom and gloom with these sort of bills and court cases on the horizon. I think that's been the leading factor in why those polls are tightening a bit.
Simon brought up something else over the weekend. Obviously, the U.S. House passed aid to Ukraine, among other things. Punchbowl's big headline this morning was basically Biden is winning this Congress. And they went on to say, in the end, Biden has emerged as the big winner on government funding, on FISA, and now on Ukraine and Israel. Biden got what he wanted with this Congress.
Look, if you're trying to make the argument, if you're Mike Johnson, you're trying to make the argument that, look, we might not like everything we have to do, but we have to work together. These kind of headlines are not helpful, right? They're really pointing out, you're giving Biden exactly what he wanted, which is the argument Marjorie Taylor Greene and other far-right members of the House are making. But this is the job. It is the job to work together. It's as much a win for Mike Johnson as it is for Joe Biden.
Simon, last word.
Yeah, look, Joe Biden is a good president, and he's had a very good few weeks, and Donald Trump is having a terrible April, and I think Democrats are feeling good about where we are right now. We got a long way to go, John, as you know, but I'll take things where they are today.
Nothing makes Democrats more nervous than a statement like Democrats are feeling good. Simon Rosenberg, SE Cup, our thanks to both of you. I really appreciate it.